Hey everybody, this is just a little disclaimer about The Last of Us 2 review that you're about to see. The first thing you're going to see is considered probably a minor spoiler. But for most of this, it's just going to be gameplay from early on in the game and a couple of instances of what the collectibles look like and just a couple of little moments here and there that are really early. So if you don't want anything spoiled at all, do not watch this video. But if you've played this game already, or you don't mind seeing a little bit of early stuff that is not too spoilery as far as major plot points, there are no major plot points, and in the entire review, we are not going to tell you what happened or reveal things that would be considered major spoilers for this game. We've got a lot to say and a lot to show you. And if you haven't played The Last of Us 1, we will be talking about The Last of Us 1 spoilers. So if you haven't played the game, get with it. It's been like 7 years. So enjoy the review, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like the content on my channel. And we'll see you in just a second. Bye.
If I ever were to lose you, I'd surely lose myself. Everything I have found here, I'm not found by myself. Try and sometimes you'll succeed to make this man of me. All my stolen missing parts I've no need for any more, 'cause I believe, and I believe 'cause I can see our
All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews, and what you just saw was a prime example of one of the main themes of this game, which is losing yourself. It's said very subtly, for me at least the first time I heard this song. I just thought it was a nice moment between Joel and Ellie. But really it covers what happens when you lose a piece of yourself, an important piece, or a family member. And that's one of the main driving forces in this game, is losing yourself and how do you find your way back to the light. This game can be very bleak, and at times, especially about 2/3 of the way through the game, I began to really question everything I was doing throughout the game. But you have to keep going, so you're doing a lot of things that at first I was really excited about doing, and by the end of the game I started dreading what I was going to have to do to get to the end of this game. That's a testament to it. So before we go any further, I just want to first dedicate this review to the people that were following me and watching me play this on Twitch, where we play games under the channel Smirking Gun Plays. I have just a few people that I want to say, Devra, Bill, and Desiree. You guys really helped me through this game, and I'm sorry for putting you guys through the emotional roller coaster that we went through playing this game. Also, if you're new to the channel and you're more of a gaming person or whatever, my reviews aren't like Game Ranks or Angry Joe, who just talk technically about the game and things like that. We will be discussing that, but what I do in my channel is I talk about how it made me feel and how it will probably make a lot of other people feel. Because this is the best narrative on the PS4. This is definitely the best game of the generation of PS4. And there's a lot to unpack. So, first things first, Like I said, that scene foreshadows a lot of the stuff that's going to happen. Naughty Dog just keeps nailing it for me. They become my favorite studio from all the way back to Jak and Daxter, Jak and Daxter, the precursor legacy, and their evolution as a company has just been phenomenal. Through the Uncharted series, which is also incredible, with even their the Uncharted Lost Legacy that I finally played recently, which is just as good to me as like Uncharted 4. I feel like it's a great companion piece of that game. And now we're here with The Last of Us Part 2. And I didn't think you could get any better than The Last of Us Part 1, to be honest with you. In fact, I didn't know how this game is going to make me feel. But here's a clip, just a short clip, to let you guys know, like in game, what I was thinking kind of early on in this game. But it was pretty early in the game when I thought this little moment out.
I didn't know I cared this much about The Last of Us until I started playing the sequel. If that makes any sense to anyone. Like, I loved the first game. I think there was I'm not alone here. But boy, did I not understand like how attached I am to these characters until I played this game.
So this game literally had me right from the beginning. Now we're not going to talk main story elements. But suffice it to say, there are spoilers out there, right? A lot of people know what happened. I myself asked somebody to just confirm the spoiler for me, and once they told me, I was bummed. I was. But I'm glad that I know now because it gave me time to prepare. I feel like what a lot of people, though, aren't doing is, and there's a lot of people that are like loving this game. But for those of them that are out there, I think a lot of people sat there stewing on it because they loved the experience of The Last of Us 1. They loved playing as Joel, fighting for the survival of Ellie and himself. I think a lot of and then there's other people who just won't say why they are disappointed in this experience of the game. I love that the wording that people use is underwhelming and disappointed. If you want to be disappointed, that's fine. Underwhelmed, I don't think, if you say the word underwhelmed, I don't think you understand the word underwhelming. Because even and I'll just really be honest here, this game did not give me what I wanted, but it did give me what I needed. And that's better. Because what I wanted initially was, I just want Ellie just kicking ass and taking names throughout this whole game to this crescendo of vengeance and violence that would, sate that kind of sick part of us that plays these games, whether it's a stress reliever or however you want to deal with things. And it took me the entire game to finally understand what the point of it all was. Now, let's go all the way back to The Last of Us Part 1. If you have not played The Last of Us Part 1, get on that. They've given it away at times on PlayStation. I'm sure you can get it for like, $7 probably, even cheaper maybe. So if you haven't played the game, play the game. If you play The Last of Us Part 2 without playing The Last of Us 1, that's like, skipping to Empire before watching Star Wars because somebody said that Empire is just better. You will be missing out on huge chunks. If you don't care about story and you just want to kill people, you can do that. But if that's all you play games for, good on you, man. Good on you. I don't know why you'd spend $60 on a game like this when you could just play Call of Duty. I recommend that. If you just want to kill people, go play Call of Duty or some other shit like that. But this second game deals with the repercussions of the choices made in that first game. And since I said, we're going to spoil part of we're going to spoil The Last of Us Part 1. Okay? in the end, Joel kills basically a huge chunk of the Fireflies to save Ellie from them killing her to get the cure that would save everyone. He did what I think a lot of fathers would do in the instance that in the situation he was put in. And there's even a part in this new game that puts that question to someone else. And it's interesting how they handle that, because they don't really quite give you an explanation. And now my thing is acting weird, so we're going to pause this. I'm trying not to play any clips behind me. I'm trying to just use my background to explain a lot of stuff. So Joel kills the doctor, kills Marlene, and runs off with Ellie, and then tells her there was, no other way. That there were dozens of people there that could have been used for the cure. And while it was confirmed that Ellie knew something was up, they really dive into that here. And all those choices that lead up to the moment that a lot of people already know of, and it sends Ellie down this dark path away from the light to get revenge. And along the way, she brings her friend Dina. Now, I said I wasn't going to mention major characters, but Dina is important. She's in the trailer. She's your companion for a bunch of it. And you and her go off in search of finding the people that you want to find and take out. Now, there's another thing that happens in this game that what really threw me off at first. And then for a good long while after that. We changed narrative perspectives quite a few times where you're playing as different people. And there's an ominous feel to it in the beginning, and then later on you have to really embrace it if you're going, like some people might even quit. Because even myself was struggling with it for a huge amount of the game. I was playing, but I wasn't playing 100%. Now that I've finished the game, though, I can see the whole picture that Neil Druckmann was trying to say. Now, I came up with the themes pretty quickly, which is that old chestnut of the real dangers are people. Some people are tired of that storyline. But here's the thing. That's the main story in our world. Okay? We're the danger. We're the ones that are killing each other. We're the ones that are killing our planet. It's the biggest story we have. It's the main, to me, moral story that we have, is we have to do better. We have to stop killing each other for our little differences and our skin color and our belief systems. This game uses that kind of thing and puts it into like the tribalism that we have, where we're seeing even today. And how, in the end, it's just people killing people. And depending on your perspective, everybody's a hero. You're the hero of your own story, and everybody else is the villain, and vice versa. And when you change perspectives and you see things from other people's viewpoint, it kind of made me think of also like, Captain America Civil War, where people had a hard time, some people had a hard time choosing between Team Cap and Team Tony. And throughout that movie, both people had points. And in this, it's the same thing. Because everybody's motivations seem justified in their eyes. And when you see that, there are times in the game where you just start going, oh God, I'm going to have to do this. The game is going to make me do this. I shouldn't say it's making me. I could put the controller down, but I wanted to see the full thing. Where is this going to go? And I found myself changing as a person as I was going through this game. Now, we should also talk about, and we're going to be talking about a lot. So if I jump all over the place, sorry, welcome to the channel. That's what happens here. I have an outline, but it's loose. So as far as like actual gameplay, we're going to talk about that for a minute. The gameplay is very similar to the original, but it has a little bit deeper uh, combat system. Your movements are better. There's dodge buttons. There's a way to get around people. You don't feel so it has to be this way or that way or nothing. In the first game, it was like it was a lot of stealth, or you could try to choose to just fight your way through, which was a lot more difficult. It's like when people play Assassin's Creed and don't follow any of the, especially the old Assassin's Creeds, where there were things specifically that you needed to do for like 100% sync. Now there were some missions that if you didn't follow what they said, you'd fail. But a lot of the time in those games, you didn't have to do any of it. You could just fight your way through, hack and slash, and not give a fuck, and still, get your experience. If you tried that in the first Last of Us, you were going to have a really hard time. In this, they give you the opportunity to really choose how you want to do it. You can go in guns blazing, and you will probably make it through this game all right if you want. Or you can choose to be more stealthy like I did the first playthrough. The first playthrough, I tried to be as stealthy as absolutely possible and be as creative as possible to get around and take out the enemies. Now that I've been playing New Game Plus, I'm starting to have a little more fun with it. I know the scenarios. I've been around and done, oh, I was over here this time I'll try doing it over on this side, or I'm going to use different things to do different, to take out different people, which is another great thing. There is a denser upgrade system. There is for weapons and for your character. It's going to take a while. They say that you can platinum this game in one playthrough, but honestly, I think you can only do that if you are playing on ultra easy and look for everything. And be that thorough. And that's kind of weird to be able to get a platinum by playing on ultra easy and looking. I played it on moderate the first time and realized about halfway, well, about two-thirds maybe, close to two-thirds, maybe half, that I realized I'm not going to platinum this the first time through because it just kept piling on things to upgrade. And I'm going, there's no fucking way I'm going to be able to get all this in one playthrough, which is fine because I was wanting to play New Game Plus. And now that we actually went and playing New Game Plus, I lowered the difficulty, and it's still like, oh gosh, it's still, I'm not finding everything as quickly, and I probably will have to play all the way through it to the very end. And while initially I was like, oh, do I want to play this all the way through again? I realized, yeah, I kind of do. I am skipping cutscenes because let's move it along, like it's almost kind of a speed run. But the combat system is a lot better. The only thing I don't quite like is how slow sometimes switching the weapons still are, even with extra holsters. Sometimes it's in the heat of the moment, and I hate it and I love it, is that sometimes you can really screw up. I try to be really stealthy, but sometimes even the best runs have things like this happen, where I confuse bombs for bricks.
Over here!
Am I? Am I finished? I think you're finished, dude. Oh shit. Whoops. Oh shit.
That one actually made me stop the stream because they made me go all the way back to the beginning of that scene, and I was like, you know what, this is a good place to stop. Also, the melee is different now a little bit too. You still get the same kind of crafting system. where you can find something and upgrade it. You can upgrade a ton of stuff. They give you more weapons and choices. You've got scythes, you've got axes, you've got boards, you've got pipes, you've got hammers, you've got all sorts of stuff that you can craft for melee weapons, but you also have your knife. And your knife doesn't break. You can use it in stealth killing clickers. That is actually a thing you can do now with your knife. You're not so limited when you're fighting clickers or runners. And then there's also another point where you can craft shivs as well. But I found myself not really using those as much when I had other things. And just to show you what kind of like the melee combat can look like, here's another little moment that we captured for the stream, or for this review.
Shit! Alan! Push forward! Oh, shit! Saw them duck over there!
All right, so in editing this, I realized there was one thing that I didn't mention, and I didn't want to just kind of jam it in here. So if this looks a little bit different than what you were just watching, is because I'm adding this late. And there is one mechanic I wanted to talk about that I forgot to, and that's the guitar. The guitar in of itself is a thing in this game. Joel and the guitar, but you know, there's that he had it and he's trying to teach her to play guitar. And what we get the opportunity to do several times throughout this game is to play the guitar. Now, it's a quick time event that you can either do really well or do really lousy at, but you just have to get to a certain point to get to a cutscene. And those musical parts are highlights of this game. But what the really cool thing about it is that after you're done with the cutscene, you can sit there and play guitar. You can sit there and practice, and if you know guitar, you can play your own songs. You can play other people's songs. And it has been something that I've been seeing all over the place. People sitting down and just playing the guitar as Ellie and creating their own music and doing covers of other people's. It's a really fun thing, and it's just another added bonus to the game. It makes me feel like shit that I've got a guitar that I don't know how to play sitting in my closet. Bucket list. Something that I definitely need to get onto. So this is going to suddenly be jarring because all of a sudden I'm going to be talking about something else. So this little clip is just kind of wedged in there. Welcome to my channel. Now, there's also a lot of collectibles. Now, while the first Last of Us game had a ton of trophies linked to multiplayer, there were several for difficulty, all those are gone. There is no multiplayer, and while you can play, there's 3 initial difficulty settings and 2 more that unlock once you beat it. But the most of the stuff in this game are based on looking around for things and finding collectibles. Now, there's tons of notes that they call artifacts, and if you read them, which we did for the stream, if you watch my streams on Smirking Gun Plays, we play the whole game, we basically read everything. And like when you pick up a book in say Skyrim, you can learn more about the lore, and in this, you really can start to piece together what actually happened in various neighborhoods and how, you know, people that stood together in the end, if you read everything, how you can see a neighborhood just fall apart, and it adds to the tragedy to it. But then there's also coins that you can find, the quarters that they put out a while ago with all the states on them. You start collecting them about halfway through the game. And then there's the trading cards that they came up with for a bunch of new superheroes that made me think of the old Marvel cards from the 90s, where you could read on the back and they have stats and things like that. Here's a couple of examples. I just want to show you kind of what they're about. Here's a couple of examples of those, and I did I kind of changed my voice as I was reading them, because as interesting as it is, some of them are pretty laughable, and this is what you're in for. They're kind of funny. check it out.
Here's Rockefeller. He throws rocks. His real name is Norman Stryker. Real estate and construction magnate Norman Stryker's crowning achievement was the Spark headquarters, both the part visible to the world and the massive subterranean laboratory complex. But when he walked in on a secret experiment, Lauren Foucault tried to dispose of him in a quarry explosion. When the Society of Champions couldn't pull Stryker out of the rocks, Dr. Stern made the rocks a part of Stryker. Now covered head to toe in rock armor, Rockefeller aims to tear the Spark headquarters down brick by brick, and he knows the place better than anyone. Alright, so then the next part is Raoul's olive branch, that's number 4. Chief Technology Officer, overseeing their military research arm. Some argue that she's lost her conscience. Others wonder whether the AI has taken over her mind. 100+ brains. Ooh, check out the big brains on Brad. I still think she should have taken Joel's backpack and coat. I wish she would have. I bet you there's going to be like...
Now, you are also going to get plenty of opportunities to be in crazy situations that make the first game seem quaint as far as their situations are in. Like, I remember, when I think about The Last of Us Part 1, I always think about the places that I dread or feel like this is where I always have a little more difficulty than other times. And this, I relish the situations that they're going to put me in because of all the different opportunities that they give you and how you can take people out. They give you tall grass that you can hide in, much better as a stealth system where people can practically get up right on you. You can also go prone and crawl through the areas and try to get the advantage. There are, in the buildings that are falling down, there are places to slip through. There's a lot more movement. You can get up and around. You can get the high ground. You can flank people. It gives you a way bigger playground to do these awful things that you're going to do to people. And I have to admit that as like a lot of gamers, when you're in it, you're in it. And sometimes I watched some of these after the fact, after we clipped them, I was having a little bit too much fun at times fighting these people that are trying to kill me. And here's some examples of that.
Okay, girl. You think this guy's connected to the girl from the school?
Be a hell of a coincidence if they weren't.
I hate these small groups. Big groups, it's a straight fight. These loners, they could be hiding anywhere.
Like right there, bitch.
Search the whole street. We're not alone.
Yeah, Jesus isn't coming for you. Really? Because I really think it's you.
And he's still standing? I don't think so.
So, those are some things that I did. And one of the reasons why I picked those is because I was so kind of visceral. I was like, this is not me. This is not me in regular life, where I'm just like plot. Like, I kind of worry that I think that I was plotting around, specifically how I was going to take people out. Another thing is the dogs. The dogs, it was like, it felt really wrong every single time. But I knew that I couldn't get through places without taking the dogs out. The dogs are these victims of these wars, these battles that these groups have, where they use them to sniff out their enemies. And you also you hear the reaction of people when they lose each other. They all say their names. The dogs have names. The people all have names. You hear reactions from people who go, "Oh no, Bear," or "Oh no, Ethan." Oh no, and it's very emotional. It feels very visceral and real. And so there's times when I'm taking people out that I feel the weight of it. And I also put those clips in because by the time I was done playing, and I started talking about how I changed my perspective, I started feeling terrible every single time I was hurting someone, or knew I was going to have to hurt someone in this game to get past them. There is no knockout button. There is only, you can pass certain sections. You can actually, if you're really good, you can get by some places without taking out anyone. But eventually this game is going to force your hand. And if you're one of those people who just does not care about the message at all, then that's fine. You can play it and feel however you want about it. But if you're like me, the impact of what happens in this game really changed how I played it. I thought halfway through this game until, I don't even know, probably close to the end, was constantly to the followers that I mentioned, was just like, oh, when are we going to do this? How long is it going to be like this? Oh, I don't know if I like this. Oh, I'm going to let this person die because I don't even care. I struggled, like a lot of people are struggling with how they feel about this game. But now that it's over, and I'm playing New Game Plus, and I'm trying it all and looking at it from different eyes, it's actually even harder now to do some of the things that I'm doing, knowing the full picture, knowing that as much as I disagree with the way people are doing things, everybody's trying to do the right thing for their people. Now, there's a group called the Seraphites, though. And the Seraphites are these people that believe, basically, in a more religious, like nature and religion kind of mixed together. And their belief system is much more strict and harsh, and I'm trying to think of the word I'm thinking of, hardline, where you don't, if you fuck up, you could be expelled, you could be killed, and they're, to me, like the ones that both sides are kind of the different perspectives are kind of conjoined to, like, these people are the worst. And I know that there was some controversy, and probably still is, about, oh, they're going after the religious people. Well, how many people have died because of religion? I'm just saying, right? If whatever you believe, whatever you want to believe, it's fine. But this was talking, the point in this was these different belief systems were all still people. And at the end of the world, we're still fighting over the same things. You've got Ellie's group that want to fight other groups because of what they've had done to them by them. And that group who wants to fight them for what they've done, for what Ellie's group has done. And then you've got the Seraphites who want to change everything and bring everybody into their way of thinking. And instead, you know, as you start to see the different levels of tolerance that these groups even have within themselves. And you have Ellie, who's just trying to get what she wants so that she can move on with her life. And you've got characters like Tommy, who are so filled with hate that you don't ever know if they'll ever recover. A good part of this game is trying to find your way back to the light. But our characters have to fall to the lowest of the lows before they can start bringing themselves out. And it literally takes to the very end of the game to get any kind of resolution for these characters. The cast in this, Ashley Johnson, Troy Baker, Laura Bailey, man, who has a very hard job in this game. Laura Bailey has a very, very hard part of this game because her part is going to be very polarizing. It was polarizing for me for the good chunk of the game because I didn't know how to deal with it. Now that I've finished it and I know how to deal, I get the point. I see it when I replay it. I'm actually looking forward to dealing with that Laura Bailey's contribution to this game. There's a whole lot of other people in here. Troy. But there's also Dina, who's done by Shannon Woodward, and I know that there's people that did the mocap too, and I forget your names, and I'm sorry. You guys, everybody in the mocap and the voice work did an amazing job in this game. This game is Ashley Johnson's game, though, in my opinion, and look, I remember her from all the way back in Growing Pains to her, seeing her show up in Avengers and then being in The Last of Us. And, I've seen her in other things. And this is her role. This is the big thing that she'll be remembered for, and she kills it. She absolutely kills it here. And she'll be getting all the game awards that they give, I'm sure. Although Laura Bailey deserves a lot of consideration too, and so does Troy Baker. Like I said, I'm not going to tell you what happens, because everybody deserves to have that experience for themselves. But I tried to predict what was going to happen in this game so many times, and I was wrong, basically about every single thing that was going to happen, and in the best possible way. But I wasn't always ready to deal with what I consider now to be the best. Sometimes when things were happening, like I said, I struggled with it. And that's really all I'm going to say about this. I know I've talked and showed a lot of things, but the main point is that if you don't like this game, you don't have to like this game. If you don't like this kind of game, because of how bleak it is, that's understandable. This game will not be for everybody. If you don't like this game because you didn't get to play as so-and-so or whatnot, or you just can't get past certain story beats, that's your choice. To those of you that are strong enough, there's 4 million copies sold, right? For those of you that care about this story, like I do, and care about narrative in games, and you get through this whole thing, I am almost 100% positive that the majority of people that play this game with a positive experience will experience a lot of what I'm talking about. And that's a testament to Neil Druckmann and Naughty Dog and what they, Sony's allowed them to make here. Because, like I said, this is not the game I wanted, but I got the game I needed. And I will never, ever, like, not play something that Neil Druckmann, makes at this point. It is Naughty Dog has solidified itself in my head as the best gaming company as far as narrative goes out there. The only thing that ever came close in my mind was Mass Effect 2. And that's saying something. Or some of the early Telltale stuff, like Tales from the Borderlands, and the first couple of seasons of The Walking Dead, or The Wolf Among Us. These characters come so fully fleshed out that I'll be carrying it with me for the rest of my life. I plan on playing this game for the rest of my life. And I don't think I'll ever get tired of it. I think we've played The Last of Us Part 1 on my channel over the last year probably 3 times. And we're going to probably play this game a lot too. So this is the best game on console right now of all the consoles. This is the best game that the PS4 has ever put out until it comes out remastered for PS5, but that's a whole other story. And, oh yeah, I forgot. There is this one clip that's early in the game where Dina and Ellie share a moment, and I'm going to give that to you guys right here.
Man, he was funny.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, he taught me about rewiring electronics and stuff. May we all be that sharp at 73. May we all make it to 73.
All right, so we were going to end the review there on a nice note, right? A little funny thing that I put in there. But just like earlier when I kind of shoved in another section of the video, during the editing process I remembered another thing that I forgot to talk about. It's a big thing because I was thinking about what I was talking about with the people that watched this with me and how we were going to go about this review in general. And I realized that I didn't talk about something I really wanted to talk about, and that is the beyond the reasons, the regular reasons why somebody wouldn't want to play this game. Like I said, it's bleak. It's very, very, very dark. But dark is where I live. I don't mind it. I like difficult subject matter. I love stuff that challenges me, and in this game did. This game did. We've talked about that, over and over. What I want to talk about is the people that have decided to just dislike this game for what I consider to be the wrong and ignorant reasons. When I said earlier that I've seen the word underwhelming and disappointed. Look, if you don't like the game because, like I said, it's too bleak for you, great. Right now, with what's going on in this country, this game came out at a very, very important time. Because with Black Lives Matter and the coronavirus pandemic, making a lot of maybe normal people act psychologically all sorts of wrong, this pandemic and the Black Lives Matter movement revealing a lot of people's inner thoughts. But what's also happening is those people that have got those issues with people that are lesbians, the LGBTQ community in general, people of other races, females, people that are uncomfortable around women, people that do not want to see women in games, people that don't want to play as women in games, people that are unfortunately out there, and there's a good number of them, that have decided to carefully word their comments so that the entire world doesn't come crashing down on them. The people that were so disappointed that look, this is Ellie's game, okay? So this isn't a spoiler, but not getting to play as Joel. Oh my god. Oh my. I apologize for getting kind of in your face about it. But if you don't like this game because of those reasons, because of the diversity in this game, there is a lot of diversity. Who cares? There are a lot of different kinds of people all over the world. And we're just people. If you don't want to play as a character who likes girls, or if you don't want to play as a character who is a little more masculine than you're comfortable with, just don't play this game. Move on. Go play Call of Duty. Go play your massive testosterone-driven game where you can splatter blood and kill each other in multiplayer and call each other all sorts of stupid names to each other. That's fine. That's your right. But if you don't like this game because it's diverse, because it offers challenging thought processes and makes you think rather than just blindly kill, if you are part of the problem, you probably don't know that you're part of the problem. You probably think that the game industry is the problem. There are a million different games to play. I, for one, have been relishing playing as female characters. Whenever I have the opportunity, I do it. In Assassin's Creed Odyssey, we have played for almost 200 hours as Cassandra, and she is one of the best characters I have ever played. FemShep. I was playing as FemShep as soon as I could. I played all the way from 1 to 3 as FemShep, and it was fucking glorious. And getting to play as Ellie in the first Last of Us was a blast. And getting to play as her in this game and other characters that are female are awesome. If you're so small-minded that that's a deal breaker for you and you want to call it underwhelming, because underwhelming is never a word that should be used for this game. This game is 30 hours long. How is that underwhelming? Now, I didn't mention this, but this game can feel a little bloated. But by the time you get to the end, you understand why all those things that you think, why are they in here, are in here. I'm not going to hold everybody's hand to tell you why it's important. You should come to that conclusion on your own. You should come to have your own opinion. I don't want to influence anybody's opinion on it as far as those themes. Because again, the themes are, we got to find a better way. We got to find a better way to deal with each other, rather than just shoot first, ask questions later, and just keep on the cycle of bloodshed and revenge. I'm sorry that I wedged this in here at the end of this review after a nice fun clip, but that nice fun clip reminded me of one of the greatest reasons why I love playing this game. Is because of its diversity. Because I get to play as a character that I've never played before, or a version of the character that I've never played before, an evolved version of the character that I've ever played before. And instead of cringing from it, despite how I acted through part of the game where I was like, I just want to do this. Once it all came together, I knew why. And I became, I feel, like a better gamer because of it. Now I'll let past me get back to talking to you guys about the end of the video, but I just felt like I needed to add a little bit more to the video to explain one of the reasons why this game is so powerful. It's important for people to be represented in all things, even games. And if that's too much for you, like I said, there's plenty of shoot 'em up, all-male blood fests that you can play. This is a game for people, for all people. But if you want to be one of the small-minded fools out there that just like to drag everybody down to their level because they didn't get what they wanted, I wanted to play as Joel too, everybody. But guess what? When you actually hear the story, it makes sense why you don't. Alright, now future me, or past me, is going to end this video. And I'll get out of the way. Alright guys, so that's the review. I apologize to anyone who's usually, watches a game review and just sees all the bells and whistles and all that stuff. But on my channel, we get more introspective on it. And hopefully you liked it. Hopefully you got all the way to the end. And if you didn't like it, I'm sorry. This review is probably like how a lot of people feel about the game in itself. But I just got to be me. I got to be honest. And I just wanted to share this very special game with all of you. I highly recommend that you play it. I highly recommend that you go in with an open mind. And I also highly recommend that just when you think you're not going to like something, pause the game, take a breath, and realize that in the end, it's all going to be okay. It's going to be okay. There will be other games. But for me, The Last of Us Part 2 is the game of the generation and the best narrative I've seen on the PlayStation 4. This is Rob for Smirking Gun Review saying if you like this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.